bukere ni bilu kachigere party president maname national unity platform. Ya yo make buni and ke studio kan wan bilu kwanyo kan memi yenyu te boru e kente kule chakuko ikomwa mokele ituma me Uganda TV. A very good evening to you listening to Voice of Lango FM 88.0 and 100.4 Voice of Lango FM. As we've been telling you in the very beginning of the day, we've been telling you we'll be having the party president of the National Unity Platform in the studio. I'm very happy and glad to inform you that he's right here in the studio with me live. And I'll take this time to allow him to introduce himself, and we will dive straight into what brings him to Northern Uganda and other plans within the party as National Unity Platform this very evening time. Mr. President, you're much welcome to the studios of Vice Land.
Thank you very much, my brother Otim, and to the people of Lango, to the people of Northern Uganda, to the people of Lira, my city, my town. I will say Itie Unoningo to everybody. I'm very, very glad to be here live on the Voice of Lango. It has been a long time, and I feel like I'm home again. With me, I'm with my brother, the Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi, leader of the opposition. And on my right here is our Secretary General, Comrade David Lewis Wongoya, who has today been named Otim, like yourself. So I'm very glad to be here and to be able to share thoughts with the people of Lango and by large, the people of Northern Uganda. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome in the studio, and thank you. My name is Otim, the Secretary General. We are happy to have you as well beside the President. Now, Mr. President, you can let us know the National Unity Platform mobilization drive that brings you to Northern Uganda.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a mobilization drive, but we're focusing mainly on resilience. Now, you'll wonder why resilience? What are we pushing back against? With your permission, Brother Otim, I want to take us back a little bit. You see, when you're approaching a problem or when you're trying to find a solution, it's important to know the genesis of the problem, going back to history and how we got here, how we got so confused as a country, how we ended up so divided and so oppressed. You realize that we, the oppressed people, whether they're in Lango, in Acholi, in Busoga, in Uganda, in Teso, West Nile, or wherever, you'll find that we've been conditioned to fight among ourselves and ignore our oppressor. We are all victims of circumstances that are created against us. I was sharing with the brothers and sisters in Gulu earlier today, and I told them that we are victims of oppression, victims of violence, and also victims of lies. These are two generations that have been deceived. The generation of our parents, our fathers and mothers, and we, the generation that came after. Now we are the fathers, we are mothers, and some of us have already started being grandparents. I really try as much as possible not to talk about the problem or the personification of the problem, which is General Yoweri Museveni and his dictatorial government. However, because we must face it head on, I painstakingly mention it that this is a person that has confused the country since the days of Idi Amin. We've talked about the root cause of the problem, the abductions, and facts keep coming up pointing to the same person. But now that I'm in Lango, I want us to go back a little bit and look in the 1980s. I mentioned to the people of Gulu, which I want to also substantiate here on radio, that the General Kainda Otafire in 2004, when they were burying Adonia Tiberondwa, an ardent UPC supporter, Otafire mentioned that actually Museveni and his people in the 80s, when they are fighting the government of Dr. Milton Obote, they would dress in UPC uniform, go to villages in Buganda and massacre people in order to create hate for the UPC government, which succeeded. Not only hate for the government, but also for the ethnicity. These are things that divided us because this was a game of General Yoweri Museveni and it succeeded. And indeed, after 1986, I was speaking a few years ago, maybe 2-3, to an elder in Northern Uganda, who indeed gave me information that after Museveni took power, and he worked with Kaira, who his government murdered. The Baganda soldiers, who were Kaira soldiers, were deployed in northern Uganda to cause havoc. Now that was deliberate, because eventually this is the hate and anger that many of us inherited. But there was somebody that planned it. Well, long story short, here we are in a nation that has been affected so much. The people of northern Uganda have seen a brilliant genocide, and I want to encourage all the people of northern Uganda to go watch that documentary where people like Norbert Mao and others spoke the truth. Unfortunately, later on, it was put on our generation. Now we are here, hateful of each other, distrustful of each other, and yet our oppressor is Museveni, who has gotten us here. So I want the people of Uganda to know they're not each other's enemy, but the enemy is one who has kept us in this situation, a person that has destroyed our identities from the north to the south, from the west to the east. Therefore, it's important to come together, face our problems, and discuss solutions moving forward. Having said that, we are on this mobilization drive to empower the people of Uganda and show them that they have the power to turn all this narrative around, to re-identify ourselves as a generation, to march forward, to overcome the oppression, to overcome the corruption, to overcome the backwardness, and indeed to forge a path for a new Uganda. And that is the message that we keep moving forward. And in the coming minutes, I'll share our aspirations and our dream and paint a picture for a new Uganda that the National Unity Platform hopes to usher in. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. With radio, and Jack Unimano, Yam maybe the two malo, well, we're gonna tell you with radio, Chalo, love Uganda tea, and Unimano, Yama Pola, but team ratio, Memio, Kadum, one call you better go Polo, had two malo Uganda cannon, and Mio, Jimmy Beta Gore, Dio, what Falconi, Locha Metiani, or Dio, two malo Uganda, maybe Peho, Chachan. Amemano mi wando ya no mala ka tanwa ko ni o mi jome to mala me Uganda be jame o be chala do gibe ti tam chala do gibe jamo be ko bi go ba pika large go me no ti do en ko bra ngi mano ngata me mi o pe ki du be ti me be ngata me pe mi ni lo hi ko me pe gina be pe gere ka pe ho do ti ko mi ni I kemere ke ngo ame te ke lo pe ko mi no me we mo agam me pe ha be no ti ko ni ngata ke lo pe ki du be president UN Museveni meti kame chawani en ko ni o ubedo ngata me ubedo mi upek be be do to twal mi aporo kan ko ni mat na chel mi abon we bi arboro ye e dan mo ni jeno o tafire o bi worgi me yiko ngata mo ni adona tibahura me da be ate ha me UPC no di to twal ero kuno ente ko ni mano giro biro ro ba jo me UPC e ka te donyo ni kana UPC ti ye e ka te ti gi me we holo to jongi ni gino be UPC ero no giro biro me gam lodge Gam gina dang loy dante ko ni magnu subiru tiye ya kire jama pol ameno bir mi ya pori e kan te ko ni jome tuma me Uganda oneni wangi kita menne khalanyo be tiye kere en ko ni tiye mena be dum yobo ti kara chele documentary ame jeno dan bara Norbert Mao gi binu logo ye me ko ba teteni me ngamo ti me ko chan kere ne halan amo ti me ko nyali me tuma me Uganda en ko ni manno chawani mi yo gino binu tuma me Uganda bino gini pia to pekiti apol mwaki ke mwake mukara ngite be bollo jo me mwana chawani otike mwa hayot ame pekitie chiantie chama chana tia duong adage tia me mi ro pia dagere lo wakana no koni gin tien kopen no mi gin chalo party me National Unity Platform bino me katu kan chikira gam bikom peki ame do tiano chano imal mani. Back to you, Mr. President.
Yes,
we'll be talking matters of the plans that the party as National Unity Platform has in the next election.
The plans that we have, not just in the next election, because we are not only looking at an election. We are young people who have a plan for Uganda that precedes even our own lives. We want to start afresh and build a new Uganda. We've always been in the struggle to put down the Museveni regime, but that's not the end as in itself. As a matter of fact, when we defeat this dictatorship, that will only be the beginning. We have been taught by our forefathers, who we were taught to hate in the first place, that our fight here is against poverty, ignorance, and disease. And indeed, that was Dr. Pote's mission, which we clearly see. Unfortunately, under Museveni, the problem of Uganda has been reduced to one thing: corruption. You see, as a human being, you can have 99 problems until you have a health problem, and then you have one problem. We had so many problems until we have the Museveni kind of corruption. And then we have one corruption, moral corruption and everything corruption. As a matter of fact, I'll say it here when I'm on Lango FM, a voice of Lango,
Yes.
that we are conditioned to hate past leaders. Even when we are moving on the roads that they constructed, we are taught to hate Amin. Even when we know how Pan-African he was. Of course, he had his mistakes, and I'm not justifying his mistakes. We were taught to hate the past regimes. We were taught to hate President Obote. For example, back in Uganda, that is the narrative that Museveni used. Like I just mentioned, he and his rebels would dress in UPC uniform and go kill our people to teach us to hate that. Even when we know that the hospitals and the roads and the schools that we went to were constructed by those leaders, Obote never drove people off their land. He never exhumed our elders to grab the land and all that. But that is what's happening today. Anyway, we want to point our focus to the future. We are trying to end this regime so that we build a new Uganda where everybody will be free before and under the law, where you come to a radio station and speak your truth and you don't expect to be taken away in a drone like it's happening today, where you know that the law is going to be, justice is going to be accessible for everybody. We want to fight against this poverty, the ignorance and disease. Poverty, we are not reinventing the wheel. It has been there. We had cooperatives that were established in the past governments, which were destroyed steadily and consistently by the Museveni regime. To see that now our cash crops have been destroyed. Coffee, cotton, tobacco, name it. And those that have persisted have been grabbed and owned by family. The most recent victim crop is coffee. But this happened to cotton. It happened to tobacco. It happened to sugarcane in Busoga. So we want to fight back against that poverty by making sure people own back their income generating activities. Of course, we want to fight against ignorance. We want to improve education. Today, our education is terrible, as you can see. Our healthcare, needless to talk about it, Justice Muliagonja was in charge, a former Inspector General of government, crying foul. Here in Uganda, it has been told to us, and everybody has seen it, that everybody, no matter how rich or successful you are only one hospital bill away from brokenness. So we want to fix that. We want to fight corruption, because corruption is the cancer that has killed our country. This corruption is perpetuated and protected by Museveni himself, because most of the corrupt people are always traced to his doorstep. And he has come out in his own words to support that corruption. The corruption in parliament, the corruption in every institution of government. I'm sure you know as a journalist by now that according to the IGG's report, we lose 10 trillion. 10 trillion is stolen by Museveni people every year. And I'm strongly convinced that that is an understatement, because this is official government statistics. It must be more. That we want to stop it. We want to fix the infrastructure, ensure that roads work and they're worked on. We are still moving on the roads constructed and established by old governments. We want to fix our road network because that money is there. If that money is not stolen, that money can fix our roads, that money can fix our hospitals, that money can fix our schools. We want to make every Uganda equal to the other, to stop the exclusion in the economy, but also in other services. For example, in the military. There's so much tribalism and inequality in the military when it's a national unity platform in leadership of this country. A person recruited in Gulu or Oyam or Atiak or Kasese or Gomba or Chiruhura will be judged the same and promoted the same. Promotion in the military or in police is not going to depend on the language you speak or the shape of your nose or your last name. It is going to be purely on merit. So we want to fix that. One other big problem that we want to deal with is land grabbing. This is at epidemic levels, not only in northern Uganda, but everywhere. You've had this problem in Uganda, in Busoga, but now that we are in northern Uganda, you've seen it. From the upper land grabs to this disrespectful allocation of your land to the Balalo, who you cried about for a very long time until just recently when the minister gave them 2 weeks to vacate. But mockingly, Museveni's son Muhoozi came out and tweeted, interestingly in Unyankole, and he said, yes, although you are given 2 weeks, and indeed his father, General Museveni, ordered them to leave, but Muhoozi told them, you cannot leave until I come there. So that and many other injustices will have to end as soon as we get into power. One thing I don't want to forget is that as soon as we assume power, we are going to repeal all those bad laws from the UPDF Act and all these other senseless laws that are oppressive. We're going to repeal them and ensure that Ugandans live in dignity and in freedom like it should be in a democracy.
Thank you. Someone will ask, you've said that there is a lot of tribalism in the military and inequality.
Yes.
In terms of
Yes.
definitely the tribe and the district where you come from.
Yes.
During the recruitment process, they pass every district and recruit members. Like recently for Uganda Police, they passed everywhere in the country, canvassing the country, doing the interviews and taking the people. What makes you say there is tribalism?
Yes, because I see the reality. Do you know the generals we have? Okay, you see them. Are they representative of the nation? Certainly not. They're not a national character. But leave the military alone. Go to all ministries. Go to Uganda Revenue Authority and listen to the language they speak there. Go to the airport of Uganda. Listen to the language that they speak there. Look at all the military high command, all the high-ranking police officers. Go and look at the RPCs and DPCs all over Uganda. Even here in Lira, I will not need to inform you. I mean, look at the CDF, the head of the military. Look at the head of police and those that come. Look at the Commissioner General of Prisons. They all come from the same the same region.
Thank you.
I mean, needless to say, the same family. So I think I don't need to substantiate my point. It is self-explanatory. This is a tribal government. This is a family rule, and it must stop because all Ugandans need to be represented in the leadership of the country.
Thank you so much. With radio party president studio, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, ameng'eye kidi nyingme Bobi Wine. Mewe studio kan, anapenye, ikom ngwagindiro tiyo chalo parliament national unity platform, ikom peki Amerika uri duong tumal me Uganda. Ma chelo gam ni manu kaya ne bino donye loch, chalo parliament national unity platform. Gino bino chaku ni tit, gero lo Uganda nyen. Gino bino timo, eka meweke, gin kado donyo kota gero Uganda nyen. Obiro chak kwa geya nyen pinjo dusu metilo Uganda lwenyi kom chan lwenyi kom lacha chonye lwenyi kom peho me tuo na mantio dio jowa peku kena ko ni dum tie dite yili la lo abro peho me chano chana amen ko ni en e binu lwenyi ya tek total ke pari mera ki teach gidusu national unity platform ena ko ni manano peho kena me tie dum tie ni chawa ni locha me tie ke geme de me tie ponyo wa me wan dago tera wa chon ya pore mi dag president amin e kun ka beda mana mino tiyo jana beche pila woni mino dago borre kun ka beda mana borre tiyo jana beche pila woni en ko ni mano ber gina ne tie na hayo ndio lo botime no kera no president chon bino tiyo ni chawani bino ni wano dag en ko ni donyo gi loch chalo gino mi gero Uganda nyien e bino mi yobera gonya ame ngara chechiel bera gonya ka yini toro chiko tero te pidi ngola tira bera tie pijo dushu mabe pe home tuo chan beda pe tino ko ni pe ku kera motime lo Uganda tini ugama to era joko na hakari pur en ko ni mano chiem ari jo pur kan ya pore le bala muan a choki ko per bela lieto twal mano mano ko ni taba ya kina meno kene pama meno ri jo pur te jugana mando ko anya du pe eno mi go mere no pe ko kena ko ni tielo Uganda chawlo be pe ki me puonere pe ki me yot kom ko ni pe ho me yot kom tie dum to twala me kanyi bela ngale Uganda chawani kayin ko bela let tuwe ka chiel e ka chiri ni me tie tum duj ida hatal anu yini wo cheni wo tiyo kere ida hatal ti malu amedang no konye ni jodu pera manu en ko ni chan tie duongi dogolo mi apor ikom report ame kweda ame otio ri tajero ko ni mano imwa halo bi gana ro chiene ame ro trillion apa ame ko ni dan tubo ta mi pe ko ba ber kar ke jeno duong kar kan ko ento pien dong no ro tajero ko kwedo mano pien gino tiyo kere game no ro ko bana mano tamero ko ni na pe ha duong titral e loch lobo mano game pole wak choy joy moñ en ko ni para po hatia duong total choy jalo be ki rock et lacha ki rubinie pe choy jalo be ki to wuminen kere alo be ki to winen kere yo this week ay ya to mi me moñ be bi jo to show en ko na hani ko pe mayo lobo tie duong total meno mi apor ko ni lobo me apa na ha ko pe tie me pe otum ilao kana wor ma tin zonga duong lobo go la ni mano kwan do balalo ko wai lobo me lao ke choy be and I have gone what a president, a general Moses, and I'll get to go in Mano, put big job. Ya, put it your lap of God, could go in. When you dog with a lot of Potana, ya, kind, put baby. Member of the copper and a copy your. Going to get on your child nationality platform, get a bit of me again. Chico can't hear me and Connie Gor, Konya the pair, will be one you get a car, ya portable chick, no more may you PDF act and no trial, I choke it. Conimano get a bit of one you go. Ya penya kere kom ngame tie kere me mohoni mano adaga kere po hamet me rock tie isho yo mon kere go ko ente ko ni mano apo hatia duong te penya ni ana anen general di ameti Uganda kana me kaina ni rock ni tie roron ko ni kana what you teach me you are kachi what teach me like dege Uganda Airlines e kachi ke dong komana don ni mon kala cheke RDCs kere DPCs ametie inungoni petiaro rom jamaro ti malu jamaro ti ping koni premier de elodi ya pola. We'll take a very short break. When we return, I will take off again with you, Mr. President, to let us know if at all you have some partnership with the other political parties who are also in the same race to free Uganda, like opposition political parties have always said. This is Voice of Lango, and keep it here in case you've just tuned in. We are hosting the president of the National Unity Platform, Bobi Wine, Robert Center Machagula. Keep it here. The oxygen is being consumed. We will have to adhere like that.
Does it function a bit?
Yeah, it's on. But I think
our population,
we are sucking it too much. 3 more talking points,
sure,
and then we get some calls.
No problem.
Yes. And then we get some calls.
Abantu mukamenya kabiri yakagudi nabisira banga kombiri no onyumye tofayo jara me onyumye so ya bakompyuta benga kutamchana yamebacha
Honorable, how are you doing? How is
Alright, abali ku Ghetto TV katuwumulemu kati ni tuli ku Voice of Lango eno mu Northern Uganda Mulila. President ayogerako eri abantu balila. Tugenda kuba tukomawo kati ni temuvaako tetugenda kujjako ne tugenda kumyutinga mukko. Ali ku kamera Buganda Ronald Mugenyi.
You're getting back on air.
and Isaac.
Okay.
There.
Let's get back on air. But actually with radio community medical in radio one now. We are both here. So I'm ready at 10:10. A very good evening to you. Listening to Voice of Lango Family Studio. We are joined by the National Unity Platform, Party President Robert Sentamuchagulani. And Mr. President, welcome back from the break. Earlier, does National Unity Platform has some program to partner with other opposition and political parties?
Thank you. Absolutely, yes. We have been having conversations with anybody and any group that is pro-change. We are desperate for change that even if somebody is not part of us as the National Unity Platform, we are willing to work with them. As a matter of fact, we were not a political party in the beginning. We started out as a political movement, the People Power Movement.
Wow.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let's keep going. Hey, yo.
Somebody said this would happen.
Sabotage.
Yeah. Are we still live?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can be answering the question, or maybe we wait and get back.
Let's wait. Let's give some 5 minutes.
Sure.
If the problem is on our side, it will be fixed. But I doubt that.
No, but the message was beginning to get tougher. So.
Definitely, they cannot take the truth.
Alright, ng'amasanyalaze bagaggyeko oluvannyuma President okubanga ayogerako eri abantu balala.
Following us on social media, we are in the studios of Voice of Lango FM in Lira, but the power has been switched off in the midst of our interview. I hope the power can get back on.
We hope they can switch on the generator or something.
Or maybe they can switch on the generator. But either way, oh yeah, they switched on the generator. That was a real standby generator.
Somebody from the door can help me leave it open. Sam, like bed to all, I have to pay my joy. And like bed to all.
No, wow.
Badde njagala omukyala bw'anandaba yamanyi nti nva kutuyanira gwanga naye kati entuyo omuzisangudde bajja kulowooza oluzungu lwange I hope the radio itself is still on.
It's off. We are still waiting for that signal to come back.
Shall the time be compensated?
Definitely.
Okay.
Brilliant. In that way, let me prepare my English.
Message to the people watching us. Pause. We stop so we're now on the generator.
Yeah, to all those that are watching us live online, we request that you bear with us. Power has been switched off, but the generator has been switched on. We are waiting for the signal to reconnect so we can proceed with our program. Please bear with us.
As we wait for power to be back, I will ask the Secretary General, are there plans to translate the anthem?
Oh, it's already
It's already translated.
Yeah, the version is there.
Oh yeah.
If you allow at the end,
If you allow at the end, we can
Okay.
sample you.
It's okay then.
Yeah.
We can prepare for that as well. From our side now we are on. We are waiting for the signal. I hope it's not what we are thinking.
I also hope it's not what you're thinking.
Also thinking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
what are you thinking?
Is what you're thinking is also what I'm thinking.
Correct.
Definitely.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Either way, even when they switch off the power, the message gets there even much more.
Definitely.
You know, they fear what they don't know and they hate what they fear.
Alright, tukyali mu studio Keto TV live amasannyalaze gagiddwako nga bulijjo era nga bwekisuubirwa nti enkola yaabwe message obutatuuka eri bantu bano. Tuli ku Voice of Lango naye nga tugezaako okulaba nti at least generator bagitaddeko signal yeetannadda katusuubire nti bagugiddeko ku mulongooti naye nga message already ebadde ekyaging.
We are not surprised. That's how they operate.
Deo tunulirawo okola bwaweri.
No, I think first of all they didn't expect us initially, so
So mbadde nkyagamba muganange go amasannyalaze gaggiddwako mu kibuga Lira oluvannyuma lw'okuwulira pulezidenti ng'ali ku Voice of Lango awa messages ze. Erinnya Buganda Ronald Mugenyi okuba muganange nga kutuusaako bino byonna ttiimu nene ku Keto TV ne bannamawulire ab'enjawulo ku mikutu emirala ffenna kwe tuli tukuweereza. Tulinda sigino kuddaako oluvannyuma lw'okuteekako generator dakika zigenda mu 10 bukyamasannyalaze gagenda. So tusaba Katonda atuyambe babe nga tebalinnye ku mulongooti waggulu kuggyako message eyo naye nga ekibuga Lango kiri mu nzikiza oluvannyuma lw'okuggyako amasannyalaze. Tusookedde gulu olunaku olwaleero pulezidenti nga meetings ba coordinator abakulembeze okuva mu Northern Uganda era nga kibadde massive abacoordinator abakulembeze abasoba mu 5 meetings olunaku olwaleero. Olunaku lw'enkya tukyali mu Northern Uganda okulaba munange nga tugenda maaso n'okutuusaako enteekateeka zino. Njagala okutumira baganda bange abalubaga North 1 batumiddeko nze Lord Kansala wamwe Buganda Ronald Mugenyi, baganda bange abalubya parish Kasubi parish saako ne Nankulabye parish mu Kiyaye yonna. Alright, tukomewo ku mpewo mukkirize Buganda Ronald Mugenyi ate mbaleke mugende mu maaso mweraba mube nga muli mu kulaba message eno.
Radio Voice of Lango FM na meti medikiri unyitia mene na tinini kwa yokisha tek tutual pepe habe o team na ngala me match enti guma bear te haba mi wan go tie geni na team medikiri chikiri unyitia mene na tinini utika party president na national unity platform Robert Center Muchakulani ni amenge bad fall bit of wine in a long yot. Dear listener, I really want to take this time to really apologize for that power cut we experienced, but finally we are back. I hope you continue listening to the messages that the National Unity Platform Party President has for us this evening. And he's still here in the studio with us. We'll be carrying on. Mr. President, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Earlier on, like I said, you are explaining to us your idea to partner with other political political parties in the fight for a new Uganda. You can carry on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate, and I'll also add my voice on yours to request our listeners to excuse us, but also to understand the circumstances under which we operate. Now, I was saying that we are willing and ready to work with everybody that wants change. And I mentioned that initially we were not even a political party because we started out as a political movement that sought to unite all political players. We had hoped to go into the 2021 election as a united force of change. Unfortunately, some members in the opposition, like we said some time ago, are only concerned and focused on their positions, and they will fight in a composition that threatens those positions. This came to play when we saw the DP being compromised and others to ensure that we don't work together. But still, the people of Uganda were united nevertheless, and they went ahead to deliver a resounding victory against Museveni, although it was rigged. This time around, we have spent these past 5 years in conversations with various people, including Dr. Kiza Besije and his team, General Mugisha Muntu and his team. We've had a conversation with our brother, Jimmy Akena and his team, and many others. The agenda is to get all the people that are tired of the Museveni dictatorship to work together. And we hope by the time of the 2026 election, we will have garnered a substantial, membership in that coalition of the willing to see that we push together for the change that we so badly need.
Thank you so much. With radio, Enoko Nimano Chalo, Party National Platform, in Miragitia, Doom to 12, and Nimano, Kavila Hala Haita, Mela Uganda, that gives ticket again at 12, getting me remain of the catching party of Kane, Melanjal, and Yamacheli, and Nimano Kello, Aloha Haita, Meti, and Okoni. I would not take a ticket a job duchu, ento, a member so can a man to guinea to party a fat. Ginang taking the culture can Neruki, Manokan Paraka pay, he can get to Kony and do Kubelino, culture party, or can of Kelly. Common Poli Party Bala, Mano Democratic Party, Chaman Tiame, and Ugendo Dioko, but Gamet, and I call it John Colino, Jamek ticket, Gino pay your Kony, Chaman Gido Kubel Jimmy Akana, Kubel Mugisha Muntu. Mano the party of Kano Kenneth, I made a ticket, Neno, the time to the chill, Melanie Mano Laro, Uganda, now, Mr. Party President, would also ask you to make your comments Today we've had a High Court ruling that has seen us see the shortest time of a member of parliament in the parliament. Even you went to parliament through by-election, but yours wasn't that short. As a party, what will you make for areas in Mbazi, Nalokola?
Thank you very much. It's interesting. It is not only the shortest period that a member of parliament has been in parliament, but it has been a case of very many firsts. It is the first election where you see an armored vehicle, Mamba, getting into the polling station during voting. The first time where you see a person elected to be a member of parliament, but they are delayed unreasonably to be gazetted. And even when they are gazetted, the first time you see a member of parliament being sworn in the speaker's office and not the chambers of parliament. So it has been so many cases that are unprecedented, but also it has been probably the shortest election petition. There are many other petitions that are not even yet decided, but this was decided in just a number of days. Why? Because the courts are not independent. Here comes a situation where the world has been watching the military, which is under the control of General Museveni, brutalize a candidate, brutalize people in plain clothes, where it is known. But now, the victim was turned into a culprit. And yes, they went ahead, Judge Namanya went ahead to, overturn the election of Honorable Narukola. We've seen that, and like it was said by Honorable Narukola himself, that it was not him on trial, but it was the court on trial. And the court has gone ahead to expose itself. We, as a national unity platform, of course, will challenge it in the appellate court. But we also know that since the judiciary is not independent, if the Court of Appeal does the same thing, we are more than happy to go back to the people of Kawempe, and they'll once again deliver an even more resounding victory against Museveni, like they have historically done. For the last more than 25 years, the NRM has never won that seat. The people have always put their feet down. This was the beginning of a protest vote. And the shameless Museveni and his regime just won't take no for an answer from the people of Kawempe. We know where the people stand. The people know where they stand. And they will, any time of the day, any time of the week, and twice on Sunday, deliver that humiliating defeat against General Museveni.
Electoral Commission Act dictates that if it's 6 months to general election, by-elections are always not held. This way to the people of Kawempe North, will it be from the party as National Unity Platform or?
Well, we are appealing against that judgment. And when we appeal against it, then the Honorable Narukola will continue to do his work until the appellate court pronounces itself. And should it also do it haphazardly and in haste like it was done, then we are happy to go back to the people of Kawempe, like I've mentioned. Of course, we know we live in a country where laws are nothing more than the paper on which they are written. But still, we'll swim with the tide and we will persevere through.
Thank you. Right, so radio, our party president, Yapenya Manapenya Kere, Hamaho, Manano, Mola, Mobility, Tinini, Kangal Kopatuong, Malkop Monome, Koki Hadung, I caught, Maname Parliament, Monome, Kawe Tumaru, Amano areas, Bazina Lokora, Pedum, Bidu Mede, Parliament, Penny, Timanda Hobera Parliament, Dung and Nahoba, actually low in the Uganda to put bill of Beratiti Daloa, Nahan party president of you were by election and the Hori. And take away Manupeka, Chaki. Achiel kiketo ko gina moti mere situation scenario moti me bere chaka ikomiero na lokola pola ma achiel bere chaki me parliament bere na kala ma achiel Mario bere chaki me yera me parliament me dum marka mon bere duonga do lala ma me no kero do bere chaki me parliament to the parliament e kaute kwere officer speaker ko dangi bere do chaki mano me jotero koho ikomi yera ka otengol yune kara kitini no ngalo mo kiru utiyo kar achiel kendo. Koro dangi jo wuono jo puodho jo puodho chung, jo puodho bol kwir, jo polo polo uneno pe duong' to twal e kare me yiero me kawo MP malo. Eto ko ni chalo dwa ng'ol ko tiyo ni kachiri ng'ola mere gino tiya me orinyo ndo ko nyimu kiyo ne kwer ni gin to yien kachiri ng'ola na me ukato ni. Ana pe dangi ka dong no bien do chik me do lawyer ko ni mo dwela bisiel. So pero mo yiero ng'ato kendo no biro bala ng'a. Yente ko ni mano of course gino tiya me chawani wuoro ko nyimu kiyo me kwaye. Ka ok ori mudang na ko la potie me de teacher chala me parliament mano me kawembe. As we get to conclude, of course, you need to listen to some calls.
Absolutely.
2 and 3 like that.
Yeah, maybe before we go to the calls, with your indulgence, I take long to come to Lira, and it used to be my city, my town, especially the days when I was performing. I feel the need to send some salutations to, first of all, the first guy, the first promoter who hired me to come to Lira, and that was a guy called Onapa Jime, also known as DJ Cool. I send him my greetings. And in studio, we are with our brothers, fellow leaders, Comrade Adonio Michael, Comrade Moses Mawa, Comrade Sarah Awol Angweri, and Isaac Ojok. They are amazing, and I want to salute them since time is fast running out. Also with me are my fellow able and eloquent leaders, the Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi, leader of opposition in the Parliament of Uganda, and our Secretary General David Leus Bongoya. I would really request that the people of Lango hear their voices, even if for a minute, and then I'll very happily come back and
all right.
conclude.
Before I let you go, maybe you tell us something about the protest votes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How about I give that opportunity to the Secretary General
Thank
to
you so
share?
much.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Mr.
we're welcoming our team on air.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the opportunity. So we've been talking about the protest vote because we all know the problems that we have in this region and indeed in northern Uganda and the rest of the country. As our president said, if you see the money that we lose in corruption, that money is enough to fix the roads. It is enough to ensure that we have proper health facilities. NUP believes that women should not be dying while giving birth, but should also not pay to give birth in hospitals. But as you know, when you go to any hospital, even here in Lira or even in the entire northern region and by far in Uganda, you'll get there and then they will start asking you for money, even for gloves. They tell you to go and get gloves. They tell you to go and get Panadol. They tell you to go and buy even the most basic things from pharmacies outside there. And of course, there's a lot of corruption, people asking for money, in part because the medical workers are not paid well. You heard recently, just a few weeks back, that members of parliament were each given 100 million shillings to pass that UPDF Amendment Act, which has made all of us vulnerable to that military court, because now they will come to your home if you have a problem with anyone and plant a gun in your house, plant gumboots in your house for the military or anything, and claim that you've violated that UPDF Act and take you to the court martial. And if you go to all these prisons, you'll find many people. In fact, when you go to Chitaria, you find very many people from northern Uganda. People have been picked from Lango, from Karamoja and other places, and they're not being tried. They have been there for 9 years, subjected not to no trial, and they're just there in prison. So that is why we are protesting. So because of those problems, that is why we're calling it a protest vote. So when you come out to vote, please know that you're protesting against injustice, protesting against poverty, protesting against land grabbing, protesting against corruption, protesting against dictatorship, protesting against all these evils that we're talking about. And what do we mean by protest vote? One, the people to turn out massively, very big numbers. Number two, want them to protect the vote, 100%, ensure that nobody is stealing the vote. Number three is to ensure that once you protect the vote, that it is actually announced, that the real results are announced. And you follow that through to ensure that the victory of the people of Uganda is not usurped by a small clique of people who are oppressing our people right now. Thank you.
Comrade SJ. And
You're
maybe
welcome. Maybe I take
right
that before we welcome.
Oh, sure.
Now, I will read you. Secretary General, Tiame Okobodi Manolo, Anapenye, because no, I'm going to Lungu Guinea, but I am motivated any Manolo protest votes. yo GMO bolo queer amenuiti GMO nyuto kemoni en ko ni mano lo bi gana chawa ni pekiti dum tutwan yo ya ka jo wel ya wel na hand gloves or lo ki wila jog da hada lo kere da hada lo pension de botu tuo me magi di chupeti abe piento teach me yo kom dan pe o chula be ni o pe hotia dum tutwan yo ko ni pe ko kenda ntie kai cha me karo kene utie me odido jowa e ka to bi ni abini enyo turi ai to dum ginde hokelo gambut gi you kelo gi do gi ni o chachi te wa ki ori out ma ko ni kelo wo american ti amen you ngi ko ni magi do shobi te je buj no fu no pala dan mo pe ko ni ka ni ori buj ni wo ti no metu ma yo ga ti port twal meti ponge i wuri me jiera wala papat meti ya don lo bi gana kan ko brangi mano mi o gintu ko ni ka ja bol don kuira kema men yuta kemoni di ko peki ki jama rasha meti yeni be ni mano jama no ni peti aba be nyu chwe ni ka bol kuiri yuta kem ro be yer pa de gini men no e kala ka bol kuiri ni go hon kuiri ko na ha ka de lo ko yore kana me jotia me atero ye mano kitame en ko ka chigire we'll be welcoming the leader of opposition, the Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi. You're welcome.
Thank you, my brother, and thank you for hosting us. We do appreciate the people from different parts of northern Uganda who are listening in to the discussion that we are having. I figure it's way beyond. Okay, we're changing tactic here a bit. I realize that Voice of Lango seems to be listened to far and wide and not just in Lango. I just saw a message on social media, somebody called Anguzu, who says he's tuned in live from Koboko, listening in. We do appreciate you. Look, the people of northern Uganda have borne the brand of the Museveni regime for the last 40 years. If there is any region that has suffered under this leadership, it is northern Uganda. It has suffered a great deal from the wars that were unstoppable for a very long time, disease, poverty, poor healthcare, poor infrastructure, and so on. Every region has a bit of that. But when you come to northern Uganda, it's a different story altogether. It is a sad reality. And so if there's anyone that should be fighting for change a lot more, it is the people of northern Uganda. And you see, many times, I said this somewhere today, that many times they'll throw peanuts at people of northern Uganda. Some seven will say, I've given this ministry to somebody from the north, this ministry to somebody from the north. And he wants the people of northern Uganda to be excited because he has appointed a minister from that region. But you see, that does not change the situation in northern Uganda. That one minister does not ameliorate or better the lives of the rest of the people in northern Uganda. So stop being excited because your relative or somebody you know from your region has been appointed a minister, yet your roads are in poor shape, your hospitals have no medicine, the schools where you take your children are in poor shape, the young people, majority of them do not have jobs. Stop cheering and saying, at least we have a minister, we have somebody in this commission and that kind of thing. You deserve better as the people of northern Uganda. Recently, Parliament came up with what they thought was a grand idea, and I thought it was a ridiculous idea, to say, let's take Parliament to the different regions of the country. And they began with northern Uganda because they know the dire state of northern Uganda. And they were saying, once Parliament goes to these regions, those regions are going to get better. I opposed that idea together with my colleagues, and I said, this is wrong. You're spending billions of shillings to rally members of parliament, staff, ferry them to northern Uganda, where it began from in Bulu. And you are saying it's going to better their lives. I said, no, we have a parliament where we sit. Instead of spending more money, let us sit in our parliament and discuss the issues of northern Uganda. MPs from the north are present. Let them talk to us about those issues of concern. And I told the government, if you are really serious, because I saw many people in government saying, Senyonyi, you don't like northern Uganda. And I said, you government people, if you really like northern Uganda, instead of just taking a sitting there, fix the issues of concern there. The regional sitting came, it ended, and northern Uganda remained in the state it has always been. Let's push for better. Thank you.
Welcome. I mean, radio. Tell we parliament, the government, yard mokochik, mano me parliament. Just Senyonyi. Ko ni mano gino tu mano me Uganda, me poyu me ko ni bol mu pira ber piento. En ko di kanu ti regional lo Uganda kana ti pe ho chana dot ber tu mano me Uganda. Ko ni yore kere no kene. Ento me tu mano me Uganda pa patere tie chian dia dot kan Udien to cool like yo to drop a mepetia bad. And go ni kame do jo yera. Iyo mchunya me adonglo kera no no chunjo betu mana me Uganda me konyer pe ma chelo ko ni mono be chi modano ma chelo be minister en ko ni un pe mi be no kera wa hani chi matinu mo be minister chelo ni mario ye to pe wa chan ke pe ha me tio nyamu itu mana me Uganda kan en ko ni yo me pe te mana chalo yo chunye yo me ya e ka te ke la hala ko dan ni yo me tu mana me Uganda mi no konya be shi yo ko ponya ke school ke yo de ame noti ya be ko ni chetoki on mo ko chik ukelo le logi amuko ne abedo regional parliament je ka ko na chaki tuma la Uganda ngel mo ni chana duong or pekan en afero ko ne temo kwero e jote ko ne dago tuma la Uganda pire biendo en pe ya kan ento en amere ko ni chana metikan duong ngoge ni parliament ka ni government ko yobu pek ni chana metikan ame pero pe again ya e ka ko ni bino dong manu kello pero kan pero da yime kello be ya la hala ma pa ya be tie kati. We'll be taking the phone calls on our number 076.
May I request, before we take the phone calls...
Since you said you're going to add us some more time.
Yeah, my apologies. You see, today I would have spoken straight Luo, but I wanted those people in Kampala to understand me. That's why I spoke English. However, I wanted to request my sister, Sarah Awol, to speak my Luo on my behalf.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my sister, welcome please.
We radio adon party president ko ni en lo ko le lan chi la ko mi chi ya ta ka ki en to mi di jo ka ba ka no ke win ko pa ko mi ko le mo en to en jo la minere ka sa wa ngwe the studio kan jo en ko pa le pashu
Apoya Tech, the Bishameti studio. Kere Luak Bishametelu, I will the voice of Lao. The president requested me to speak in my language, which I hope it will be translated to him. My name is Sarah Awol. I represent the workers at City Council. I am a leader in Lira City Council. So I'm here to welcome the president and the team from National Unity Platform as a leader in Lango sub-region. Then too, as a mother, I also want to welcome him to Lira. You say you always come here once in a while, but it's because you didn't have a mother in Lango.
Yeah.
But now you have a mother, and now you can come anytime. Don't even be scared of all the intimidations. We are there with you in the struggle.
Amen.
Now, Magi Kimere, Tamito Paul, Amitoni Aqua Toro Duchameti Lao, Paula Kara, Jokoni, National Unity Platform, Oberokama Bulu. Epikiani, one Toro Niakoni, it is actually hard and it's sad for us to lose our children in all these circumstances that the NRM is putting us in. So it is better for the mothers now to join hands and we move together with National Unity Platform because they speak the same language that we are speaking in Lango. I want to make it clear categorically that in Lango, it's only me who always fight for corruption. And all the corrupt will fight back at me by putting a lot of issues, a lot of fake cases, and have been arrested severally by my party that I serve the NRM. But I think it is time for us to move out and speak to the public. Whatever it takes, we are there for you. And we are there for our people. So, Luakme Lao, Anatel Lokachala Tin Lao, Daneno Chan, Pilao, and this is the time. Chawa me wan miru ya, utelo karachel, kerijo ametelo kulebwa. Eta party gwako jo ametia gwako kadegi. Amegindo towni, they have surrounded what to eat, and they want us to help them protect their food. That will not happen. We shall say no to those ones who are really eating the future of our children. And they are pretending they're securing the future. If you're really securing the future of our children, why don't you allow them also to be part of the future? So that is nonsense. We shall not accept, and this must stop.
Thank you.
So the president, I want to thank you. Come again to Lao. I am also contesting to be the woman member of parliament for Lira City with the two confused ministers of President Museveni. Thank you.
Let's go, Sarah, let's go.
Not Abia Bishel about not about deck. Airtel not Abia Bishel about not about deck. You can reach out in our phone numbers. Let us know where you're calling from. Be precise, brief, and accurate, and straight to your questions because it will save some of your time for the team to get back to your concern. Why is Lang? All right. I will bring you to Chiwa Tuolo. No one will cut to. I tell Penya. Voice of Lango. Apoy swala kop keringa. Chulo keringa. Voice swala Robert ukula maji. Okay, apoy. Why to try? You know, happen with your and I pay penny into pay chan medication. Why is about?
Yes, hello.
Mokopia.
Yes, I believe it's Walter. I'm calling from Akokoro.
Walter from Akokoro, thank you for calling.
Now, I wanted to ask this gentleman and his team.
Yes.
What have they brought to people here? Because they say the government has sent us to those people. What are the package they have brought? So that you said, thank you, you are all good people. What have they brought for us?
Okay. Thank you so much. Voice of Lango FM. Hello. Hello. Yes, man Calvin TV and Voice of Lango. Yeah.
Program of what is president one and some of back more carry.
Dickens in God, Jimmy Grant.
After Kokoro, you know, my training. You know that I'm a now kind of channel. Just to shoot a bit of Nayawan, kill my own people, and Nayawan.
Okay.
Okay, let me in a channel program of Korean from what I know, and
Now, voice from Pepper. Voice of Lango FM. Hello.
hello, Calvin.
Mokopia. Didi man Monata. Morani. Voice from Pepper. Voice of Lango. Hello. Yes, Mokopia. Mokopia. Morris Akachikwe. Okay, if I know. Yeah. What are you paying, Morris? Voice of Lango.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm okay, this is Aaron.
Aaron, where are you calling from?
I'm living down
Okay, straight to your questions.
with Mr. Bobi Wine, His Excellency, and then Joe Simon. Welcome to their city. I only have one word for them. It's good they have come, but I'm telling them or I'm telling them about the people they use. They might promote them or demote them. There are some people that the song here cannot be done. The other gender